This is a wonderful breakthrough, we think, and I think you're going to enjoy the trade show shells.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather right in here. I'm going to show you something that's not a magic trick. No, this is actually a legitimate con game. In fact, this is the oldest American swindle. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Chef Anton. I'd like to welcome you all to the Sprint PCS booth. Today I hope to entertain you, to inform you about some of the products and services here at Sprint PCS, such as the new J235 phone. But most importantly, my goal in life is to demonstrate how easily simple, honest folk like yourselves could be taken by some unscrupulous hustler at a trade show like this. That's why you want to stick with the professional company, a company that you can trust, a company like Sprint PCS. Now, every time I look at these shells, it reminds me of the first time that I got taken. I was just a 9-year-old kid walking through the carnivals of Minnesota. I saw this shady old character. He had 3 walnut shells and 1 little green pea. Well, yeah, granted, they weren't quite this big, but see, I was much smaller then. I want you to remember the trick the way that I do. Now, normally when you play these little con games, you have to play them for some cash. But today, the kind folks at Sprint PCS, they're going to pay for your education. In fact, lesson number 1 is, does anybody know why a con man would carry money in his hand like so? It's actually very easy. First off is that when I'm mixing the shells up like this, the money hypnotically goes back and forth. It gives me a little bit of misdirection. Number 2 is if it makes it very easy for me to pay out the money or to be able to take it back. But most importantly, if some student were to try to take back their tuition, try to steal my hard-earned winnings, all I have to do is close the fist like so. There is no way that you would ever be able to get that money out of my fist. Not that you do any better playing this game either. It's known as the 3-shell game, folks. 3 walnut shells, 1 little green pea. All you have to do, sir, is tell me which shell has the pea under it. The center. That's very good, sir. Boy, you have eyes of a hawk. You're a natural at this game. I might actually have to mix them to fool this guy. Now, sir, if I started to mix them up like this, very slowly like that, and move them like that, going that slow, I couldn't possibly fool you, could I? No. So we'll do it again. Watch the pea very closely. It starts right here in the center. This one will be for you, ma'am. You ready? Here we go. I'm going to mix them up like this, faster than you could possibly follow. Where is it? Over here. Well, your thinking is straight, but you see, the game is crooked. Now, if it's not this one, it has to be one of these 2. Which one do you think? Oh, that's so close. You missed it by inches. Yeah, I'd give you one more guess, sir, but it'd make it kind of easy. So we'll try it again. Watch the pea very closely. This time it's going to start over here. The gentleman in the back row, come on over here. I'm going to show you something great. Since you're the new student to the class, I'm going to give you a subtle hint to make this one real easy. You ready? Watch it very close. I mix them up like this, faster than you could follow. This is your hint. Where is it? In the center? No, see, sir, the hint was that it wasn't this one. I told you it was a subtle hint. Now, I recommend this one, but sometimes I lie. You want this one or this one? Now, see, I wasn't lying this time. It's not that you can't trust me. You have to know when to trust me in this game. But the people that you can trust 100% of the time are the knowledgeable sales reps here at Sprint PCS. As a matter of fact, they're going to make their way through the crowd right now so they can scan some badges, answer any questions you might have about the new J235 phone, because I know people are dying to find out if it has that automatic redial you've heard so much about, and it does. You might want to know if it has that voice command. Of course it does. But I'm not going to blurt out that it has a free international calling, the web access. That's what our sales reps are for. They'll answer any questions you might have about the inner workings of that phone. The same way I'd like to show you about the inner workings of this game right now. Here's the secret. Don't watch the shells. That's where everyone goes wrong. Instead, watch right there. In slow motion, you're going to see I switch it. But you see your eye follows the shell. I go like this, you look there, and then I could switch it again. You got the idea? Good. So we're going to do it for you twice. First, I'm going to do it in half speed. You should see it for like a second. But then I'm going to do it in full speed. See if you can catch me. You ready? Here we go. Right there. Did you see the switch? Good, good. You saw it's not this one. Now, I did switch it twice that time, so you know you got to watch out for that as well. Now, sir, did you know when this game was first invented, it was invented by Neanderthal? You know, his name has been lost to history. We'll call him Trog. Now, old Trog one day was sitting by a riverbank with this pretty little pebble that he had found in half a coconut shell. By accident, he covered the coconut shell over the pea. And it vanished. It disappeared. He had no idea where it went. He picked up the coconut shell and the pebble was back again. It was the most amazing thing he'd ever seen. To his primitive brain, it was like pure magic. He covered it back up and it was gone. He'd lift it back up again and it was back. It was the most amazing thing. He was so excited he ran back to the cave and showed all of his friends his new game that he called the one shell game. This fooled people for thousands and thousands of years, until man's cranial capacity started to grow. Then people started to catch on to the game and they became bored with it, until this ingenious Cro-Magnon came along and says, how about if we call it the three-shell game? Yeah, make it more confusing. The problem, though, is that logic hadn't been invented yet. So what he would do is he'd show the P here, he'd push that forward, and then he'd just kind of mix these two up vigorously like that. But see, since logic hadn't been invented yet, people always seemed to bet on one of these two. Now, I'm sure that would never fool an intelligent, sophisticated audience such as yourselves, would it? But I'll tell you what, just one time for fun, why don't we try the game the way that Trog originally intended for us to play it? Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take the pea and I'm going to place it under the walnut shell. Or do I? I will then make a move towards my pocket. You're going to guess whether the pea is actually under the shell or whether the pea is in my pocket. You got the idea? It's either under the shell or in my pocket. Everybody understand so far? Good. All right, so let's begin. Watch the pea very closely. It goes under the shell, or does it? I make a move towards my pocket. Sir, do you think is the pea under the shell or is it in my pocket? Do you think it's under the shell? All right, I'm going to give you one more guess. It might be under the shell or it might be my pocket. What do you think? In my pocket. Now you got the idea of the game, sir. In fact, I'll tell you, we'll try this one more time. This is as easy as I could possibly make it. We'll do this for the lady there in the back row. Ma'am, this is as easy as this game gets. I'm going to take the pea, I'm going to place it into my pocket like so. Now you know if you bet on my pocket, you're going to lose. You know if you bet on that shell, you're also going to lose. But that's because you're betting against a con man, a swindler, a hustler. If you bet against me, you're always going to lose because I'm an expert at what I do. But it's the same way that Sprint PCS, they're an expert at what they do. And that's why I want you to know, folks, that if you guys bet on the new J235 phone, you will always be a winner because it is the safest bet in this industry. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we'd like to invite you into the booth. You can see a demo of this phone and answer any questions that you might have. Thank you for stopping by Sprint PCS.